I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. However, over the years, I had the blessing to work with different, in different field. I worked at the airport. That was my first job at age 18. And, after that, I just didn't look back. I only worked in things that, not because I wanted to, but because I had to. Okay. So, um, I moved to US in 2000. I worked in the restaurants. I worked in the hotels. I worked in the parking lot for many many years, and I ended up selling cars for many years. Um, but it wasn't enough for me. Something was missing into my life, and I didn't know how to explain that. But I had to do some change in my life, especially because most of the job I did, I work over the weekends, Saturday, Sunday, every time. And I missed the touch with my families and friends, and I had to change something. So um, when I was, selling cars, I asked my boss one day, I wanted to work Monday to Friday, and he just laughed in my face. He was like, you're a salesman, I need you to work on the weekends, and that's, a salesman work Monday to Friday. That doesn't work for me, right? So I put my 2 weeks notice, and I end up, leaving the job. And but just before that, I came across with the Jeff's program, now like a few months earlier, and I was trying to build my own business, online, but it was like after coming from work, 10, 11 o'clock at night, and try to build this business, and while I'm technically asleep, tired, and so yeah, so I asked my boss Monday to Friday. He didn't give it to me. I decided to make a choice between building the business or still go work for somebody. All right, and that was one of the best decisions I made in my life. Just quitting the job. All right. It's funny because when I'm left my job, I come home and I tell everybody like, I'm quitting my job, and everybody was like, oh, you look for something else? You find something better? I said, no, no, I'm not looking for something else. And they were like, okay, so what's your plan? Oh, I'm gonna build my own business. Okay, and everybody was like, so what are you gonna build? I said, I don't know yet. I'm trying. I don't know yet, but I know for sure that I don't want to work for anybody anymore. And if, they asked me, the farmers asking me why you don't want to work for anybody anymore, and I was like, I'm tired of micromanagement. I'm tired of working for the leaders that they're all about capitalism, right? And I want I want to be my own leader. All right, I want to be my own leader, but I don't only want to be my own leader. I wanted to teach people to be the good leader. Of course, being my manager is suck. And I don't like micromanagement. So came across with the Entra, pursued my career with Entra, learn the new skills. It was what is the best thing that happened to me. However, I was getting exhausted too because everything is new for me. I'm learning everything. I'm asking Mel for questions and stuff. She didn't even know what it is, but I just asked for help anyway. So in November 2021, I went to Insight. I went to Insight for the first time, and that was a life change for me. Okay, because I couldn't look back. And after 3 days at Insight, I really felt like I'm becoming an entrepreneur. I really felt that I am in the right direction. I just need to get where I need to be, even though I wasn't clear where I want to be. Right, but I couldn't look back. I was so much change for me, and when I come home, I was technically a different person. And yeah, Melanie can tell you all about that, right?
I could tell from the minute I picked him up at the airport that he was changed. He was so much more present, so much more eye contact. Um, telling me so many stories about all the people he'd met, the friends he'd made in the 3 days that he was gone. And I felt like he'd become a leader. He'd gained so much self-confidence in what he was doing. It
Yeah.
was just amazing. I felt so much more like he could see me, he could hear me, he could see and hear the kids in a new way and communicate what he was feeling and thinking in a new way. It was just amazing. And so he just said, you've got to experience it for yourself. I want you to come back with me. They're doing it again next month. So we went ahead and got the ticket for that. But what he hasn't told you is what's going on with me in all these months and years. I had been a teacher. I'd always wanted to be a teacher since the time I was very, very little. And I was a teacher for 20 years, and I got burnt out, truly, truly
Mm.
burnt out. And I left that in 2019, and I've been trying to find myself and find my way ever since. And I started a business, and then I decided that wasn't for me, that particular business. And then I decided to become a realtor, and I was working my ass off to become this thing. Real estate, it isn't as competitive. The brokerage where I was working was amazingly supportive. So it wasn't as competitive as I had expected. However, there is this big need to present yourself in a certain way to gain clients. And I just felt like I was working so hard to become something that I started to realize that it was not going to fulfill me in the end. And when I went to Insight, well,
Mhm.
the other thing that we didn't talk about, so he's stressed. He's never home. When he's home, he's working on this business. I'm stressed. I'm never home. I realized that real estate takes me every weekend and every evening out to take clients to go see houses or sign
Mhm.
documents. And so you can imagine what our kids were going through. And this is during COVID, and our kids were just bouncing off the walls. I mean, the
Yeah.
little one was really, really out of control, and pushing every button and demanding so much attention because we weren't there to give her the attention that she needed. So everything was just kind of out of control. And we're supposed to go to this Insight event in December, and the tension, the stress that it built for me to try to step away from our life for 3 days. I was just so afraid everything was going to fall apart in terms of my career and the family. I had to ask friends and family to take our daughter for 3 more days when I'd already been asking them to take her on
Yeah.
nights and weekends. I was very stressed headed to Insight. And as I sat there and listened to the teaching, I just finally had a moment, an opportunity to reflect on myself and see what I was doing was not in alignment with where I wanted to go and what I wanted out of life.
Mhm.
I wanted to be present for my kids. I wanted to be present for Tovy and be there to help him with his business. And this whole real estate thing was just making me crazy, and it wasn't getting me where I wanted to go. And so I quit. And I, took care of some final things and stayed home with Tovy and started talking about what is the mission? What is the purpose? And I'm glad I got in on it when it was brand new, so we could form it together.
Yeah.
And start figuring out the technical stuff together and start dividing our roles. And it's so amazing. Each day we have lunch together and we go for a walk and we talk about the business. And it's so fun to be so purpose driven and so in alignment and such good communication. And obviously the kids are doing so much better now that we're here and able to pay attention to them. And I just wouldn't want it any other way. And we're so excited about what we're building together and this opportunity, and excited to share it with you. We haven't even talked about what the business is.
Oh no.
Maybe that'll have to be part two,
Yeah. Sure.
to be continued.